It's okay. Off your mic. It's okay. She off your mic.
Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk truth to power don't off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go summer us, call them hate speech. But fear not, Maiyegun don't come. Him go torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we laugh, yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun diary Politico, yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. This one not the off in mind, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. And in the touchlight every corner, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai, them be promise us say we go get light and power. Nah. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Sure. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power over naira. See them talk say make we off mind. But thank God say Maiyegun don't come. So my people make you ladder, oh, yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun diary Politico, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. This one not they off in mind, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that Maiyegun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say Maiyegun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Woman picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say Maiyegun don't come. So my people make you laugh, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. My people make you shout, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun diary Politico, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come.
Thank you. Hello there.
Maiyegun làwa mọ̀, la mọ̀ dododo. Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Good morning to you.
Maiyegun làwa mọ̀, la mọ̀ dododo.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Good afternoon to you.
Ọ̀rẹ́ ara yìí.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube.
Maiyegun diary.
And good evening to you from wherever you are watching from. This is Maiyegun Live.
Maiyegun number one.
Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Bó bá ṣe eré, àní Maiyegun máa wí.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Ó sì tún ṣe eré, wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Maiyegun diary Politico.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Maiyegun.
Maiyegun diary.
Yeah, share the broadcast. Invite your friends. Invite your not so friendly friends and tell them that Maiyegun today.
Àní Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ dododo.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Yep. Tell them.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Maiyegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
They will question, they will engage all those who want to lead this country, and those who do not have the interests of the North, they will not support. Just in 20 seconds. Did you hear? Is your party and your candidate going to be listening to the Northern Elders Forum?
Akim Baba Ahmed and the Northern Governors Elders Forum, perfect gentlemen, extremely patriotic persons. We love them, and I have enormous respect for Akim Baba Ahmed. He's somebody I want to be like, However, I just want to say, make a statement of fact that they don't represent the North. They don't speak for the North.
All right.
Despite all, when they campaigned against Buhari in 2019, Buhari won resoundingly the North. Atiku lost. Atiku lost. He did not even get 10% of votes in certain parts of the North. It's just to show that they are very wise elders, but they don't control the streets. Right. We are talking about those who control the streets.
We need to leave it at that. Yeah. Thank you so much, Mr. Festus Keyamo, for your time tonight on the program. The official spokesperson of the Presidential Campaign Council of the APC, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, and Minister of State for Labour. Thank you so much, Mr. Keyamo.
Thank you.
Before we close finally, Dr. Akim Baba Ahmed, just in about 50 seconds, if you may react to some of the things that Festus Keyamo said.
I'm afraid I didn't hear much of that.
He said
Can I ask you what his last response was when
he
you
said
asked
that the Northern Elders Forum does not represent the North. You opposed Buhari the last time, but Buhari won.
Yes, so if he thinks that we don't represent the North, and it means that Tinubu believes that he can win the North without the support of the groups, not just Northern Elders Forum. We are also combining with other friends. Fine, he's welcome. If this is the kind of attitude the APC would have in relation to the North, and they want to use our attitude, well-justifiable attitude towards Buhari as a failure, this is the kind of thing they want to sell to the North. I'm sorry for their campaign. They are going nowhere. And this is the kind of attitude that will lose them that election. It's the very wrong approach to adopt. If they want to adopt it, fine.
Thank you.
ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kí. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kí. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Thank you. Good evening to you, good morning to you, good afternoon to you from wherever you are watching from. Once again, you are welcome to the Temple of Truth tonight. If you have read the caption of the broadcast or the description, as I have put them out in my own short way of, attempting the topics, one after the other, so to say, you probably must have as well, right? Bring yourself into what the conversation is going to be like tonight. But we're going to start with the header. In the next it's actually 2 days. Well, let's say 3 days. The RUPCOs or the ROPUs, or let me say the RIPUs that the APC, satanic Muslim, ticket is brewing as somehow led Tinubu, as we have been told, to London. So put it this way, in 2 days' time, they were supposed to start officially their 2023 electoral charade. Some of it, which you can say, are going to be laced with violence, which is the right word, violence. And then laced with other one, which is other violence of the snip bit and all that comes out of their cocoons in their small places where they plan. So we're going to pick on them. But something you need to pay attention to, quite importantly, is that we know for the past 7 years, one of the things that contributed, if we must admit to the total destruction of Nigeria that you are witnessing today, one of the most kind of significant things that happened was because Buhari became a vegetable, sick, unhealthy, unwell. And for the powers that be, the owners of Nigeria who tend to benefit from that lapse, Buhari can rule, even if he can no longer think or act straight anymore. So they kept that, and those who suffered that are many, many of you today who were once cyberbarians, and today you have switched to bat idiots. The consequences of that is not limited to the rest of you, the cyberbarians, including those who never even wished or prayed or participated in the emergence of a sick man like Buhari. Now, something is brewing again, and in this case, it is on the part of Tinubu. Now, in the last 3 years, Tinubu has been a regular visitor to different health practitioners all over the world. Normally, good leadership will start from being honest and sincere. For 7 years, in fact, just narrow it down, between 2016 and 2018, the entire populace was regaled with different lies of what was wrong with Buhari. Some agreed that he was poisoned through the air condition unit in his office, that they poisoned him in order for him, for whoever poisoned him to take over. And then they turned them into prayer warriors while Buhari was going under the knives in the UK. Now, in the last 3 years, on record, Tinubu has visited Maryland for knee surgery. He's visited this UK for more than 6 times, right? In one of them, he spent over 4 months here. They called it recovery. Now, you might actually love Tinubu, as many of you are. I'm talking about the Lagos Abobaku watching me right now. But if you think that those who experienced the damages, the destruction, the looting, and the killings that are happening, that happened and that are also happening under Buhari due to ill health, I mean, if you think those who experienced that are always going to look away watching Tinubu with 4 or 5 men holding him to stability and all that. Now, here is the point. 2 days before your regular, hire and pay charade is back in the UK. Now, he's going to be in the UK for the next 1 week. Remember, their Muslim ticket has already pitted the likes of fake Pastor Ruga, who was reported to have stayed away when his name was nominated as one of those to come and tell the people that it doesn't really matter. Religion is not going to be a thing, and on like that. And others said, no, they were outrightly excluded because they have stated their opposition to this ticket as well. This is inside APC. So, sorting that or not, they bundled Tinubu to the UK, just probably to get him that same jag that they gave to Buhari, that will last him for a few months, and then he will be back here again. Then it will last him for a few months, and he will be back here again, and all that. But listen, I know so many of you would like to go kind of the usual way, religious or emotional as it is. But there are 2 things that normally should jolt you, okay? 23 years after democracy. For example, in Lagos, 23 years of uninterrupted Tinubu's master plan and rule, right? Lagos would never provide a medical facility that can take care of a common commissioner in Lagos. That is one. Somebody said something a while back. He said, you would one day, right, come to the reality of how much it cost Nigeria, or how much Nigeria coughed out to the UK economy in order to revive and keep everybody part of Buhari together to be moving about enough, at least to appear as your president. It doesn't matter if he's probably talking rubbish or doing nonsense, right? Now, for 7 years, this is another one, talking about morality. For 7 years, the same Buhari, not for once, so not till now, ever thought of whatever I have managed to benefit from the UK healthcare system, paid for by Nigerians, so to say, that somehow, you deserve the same thing in Nigeria. I mean, they have budget for healthcare, don't they? They do. But many of you probably don't even know, or you don't care, because they don't exist. And you know that. Abi? 7 years that Buhari has been shuttling, spending billions of your money. Why the rest of you are dying of needless, sort of non-lethal sicknesses because of the poverty that they have dipped you into? This is just like a moral question now. Because before you go emotional or go religious, and then they said they are coming here to vacation. Now, this is what they put out. There is trouble in the paradise between PDP and APC. And as it is the, call it, political survivors of everyone. Where Wike came here on Friday or Thursday, he came to the UK after he got the hint that Atiku has dropped his name and completely ignored him in his campaign, council. Tinubu declared his own campaign council. They are dealing with that. People are saying they are like going to sabotage that. So Wike left Nigeria for London, possibly on the request of Tinubu as well. Remember that he said Tinubu made him an offer the last time he was here, right? So, in order for them to just use one stone to kill two birds, Tinubu will be in the UK for medical treatment of something nobody knows. Some said it could be for his Parkinson. Some said it could be for his, wetting his diaper and all that stuff. Some said it could be for his, shaking and all the stuff. Whatever it is, number one, dishonest people who cannot build an healthcare system that could take care of at least all of you who loved them. That's the moral part of it all. Those of you who loved them, okay? And so many of you who loved them, who don't like people like me, right? Who has done nothing to you, ever. Now, for 23 years of democracy in Nigeria, Tinubu and the rest of those you worship, they still have to come down to the UK with your money stolen. Call it that. Because there are ways they call it authority stealing. The one that gives Tinubu the same benefit that the current sitting governors of Lagos State also gets for life. So that's your money. It doesn't have a job. It never worked. You know that. So bring your money down here to come and enjoy something that people like me work hard to fund. Do you get that? Same as you who work hard, and rather for them to use their resources to build infrastructures that actually cater for you. Something as simple as healthcare. 23 years, they are the poster picture of that failure. So he's back here. So back in Nigeria, in order to cover that, that lapse, Keyamo and the rest of them came out to the rest of Nigerians. They said that their own campaign is going to start in October, because Tinubu will be here receiving those injections, receiving those and other stuff, right? So instead of them to launch their campaign, they would rather meet and do prayer meeting. So prayer meetings, which will include all of their, normally their bishop and all that, who will come around and pray for Tinubu's health, for Tinubu's recovery, for APC, Egbekegbe's victory, in order to further extend this, this mess. Now, let me tell you something. For those of you who probably feel a little bit emotionally weak, okay? If you are emotionally weak, it is easier for people to play on your own emotional weakness. For example, if you are religious, okay, they will make you want to ignore the failure that they are so proud of when those who were in charge or once in charge of your own affair, who failed to provide the real infrastructure, sustainable infrastructures that could serve millions, including them, only to run away, to go and enjoy that same facility elsewhere. But back in Nigeria, where your own emotional, religious, and all that stuff are running riots, they can easily play on that and say, listen, anyone can go to anywhere to go and get medical care. You know that is a lie. Not everyone can go to anywhere and get medical care. You know it, okay? Then they will tell you that the best you can do is to pray to God to give them better health and long life so that they can come back to Nigeria and do the right thing. Now, that is playing on your own emotional, emotional weakness or religious weakness. That if you begin to condemn the fact that these people are so shameless, right? That when they lock up your schools, they will come on social media to share the graduation picture of their children graduating from university schools that are opened abroad, okay? When they lock your hospitals and lack of medical personnel, underfunded, poorly paid, in most places, non-existent at all, right? Then they would expect you to thank God, throw up a party for a Thanksgiving because they just returned back from a successful medical surgery from abroad. Do you get that? Now, at that point, every common sense will be put aside, and the emotional nonsense will take charge. So that is why, you see, when you see characters like that, and then you see people who say, no, there's so many baggages. But look at this. 23 years of democracy in Nigeria. 7 years of Buhari dying and coming back to life in the hands of the British doctors. Some of them Nigerians too, who left Nigeria. None of them still felt like they should, whatever they experienced here, because they have the chance, the capacity to do that for you in Nigeria. Now, I've told you, okay, when somebody says, whether you like it or not, Tinubu is going to be our next president. Story, listen to me very well. There are different categories of people, okay, who indeed are part of this big pond of degenerates who believe that doing same thing again and again, then expecting a different result is actually something wise, so to say. And in that bracket, yeah, here is the point. In 23 years, while they destroyed Nigeria and built empire for themselves outside Nigeria, a kind of a safety net, some of us who have the chance, who have a chance of living outside Nigeria, experiencing what life truly should be like for those who genuinely, legitimately are working hard to make themselves better, like many of you watching me right now, yeah? So we experience life in a way that made many of us to question the life that these guys built for you in Nigeria. Is it about infrastructure, road infrastructure? Is it about, enabling environment that is conducive enough for you to exploit and excel, opportunities that abound, not having to factor in who you are or who you are related with? Is it the standard healthcare system that is well and clear enough for you to know where you can get help even if you're not from there? Or the kind of, citizenship, sort of a respect that they get from the politicians that understands that this is a job that once they actually, messed up with it, they would have to go. Responsibility. Now, many of us kind of feel like all these things, they don't require a sort of a special prayer, special group, special committee, special this or special that. So we started questioning the characters like Tinubu and the rest of them who have been in your space for 23 years. Healthcare, zero. Education, dead. Infrastructure, dead. And yet, these guys spend, and their family, they spend virtually half of their lives outside Nigeria, touching and feeling what life could be. But the moment they get back to Nigeria, then it becomes something else. So for people who have been in that other world, when we see the hypocrisy of the likes of Buhari and your politicians, it kind of saddens genuine people. But when you see those who are living outside Nigeria and they are hailing and promoting these criminals who never mean any well, not for you, not for anyone, and sadly, not even for themselves. When you see people who live outside Nigeria who hails them, it is because these are the few who somehow, if they never left Nigeria, they will be exactly what your politicians are to you if they have that same opportunity. Then it is the same world. Whatever is wrong with Tinubu, listen to me. You can say, somehow you are paying for that, but he is also paying as well, because their selfishness, their self-centeredness, is not, the consequences of that is not limited to some of you who are their praise singers. Watching them deplete your future, deplete everything that could at least make you experience life as a human being, not like as the dredge of the society that they personally believe is the source of their power that will keep every one of us in this contraption for long. The consequences is not limited to you. Look at them. 23 years in their own selfishness. 23 years. Lagos State as an example, the mega slum of Lagos State, couldn't build a standard health center that could at least earn the trust of your own politicians who probably should have built them. And in 23 years of this madness, you are gearing up and you are warming up and you are believing these rogues again, that they probably have something to offer when you know they don't. Some are saying that maybe Tinubu, the Shetima and gang, they are waiting for Tinubu to buy. Let me tell you something. That kind of mindset can only somehow be entertained or have a place in the mind of a typical Nigerian. Okay, now such can flash your mind, but it shouldn't be something you really entertain and be like, no. There were those who believed that if Buhari would die and Pastor Ruga would become president, and because of that, every vice, every negative thing they knew about Buhari that were so facts, recent history of his, they decided to ignore them. Because according to them, at least if Buhari, it will be the turn of Yoruba. It's not because they love Nigeria. Do you know that? So now, for those of you who are now here witnessing what today is, Buhari is still there, Abi. And if you think that Tinubu will buy, in my own research, usually cold-hearted people, wicked people, even if they on top wheelchair, they know they die easily like that. And in your case in Nigeria, let me tell you something, that any of your roguish politician or the ones you dread and all that dies is not an example or is not an assurance to an end to your suffering, to the oppression that you are experiencing. In fact, there are hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands, of the likes of Tinubu, the likes of Atiku, and the likes of Buhari in young and old formats who are ready to do worse than whatever you think Buhari is doing. So wishing them death and all that is not a sort of a prayer that is going to guarantee you any kind of succor. Do you get that? So Tinubu is here for medical care, and also he is here to finalize and make a final deal to Wike. Wike himself, who is a sort of a wounded dog. You know his own story, you know his own history as well. Wike is here for his own political survivor. From what we have been told, do you want to hear me? Now, this one may sound like sort of a rumor. It's probably not always rumors. And in some rumors that you probably would hear, right, I would say there are some iota of truth in them. They said that for the Peter Obi and his supporters, so for Atifu's camp believe that they will be treated just same way Buhari treated EndSARS. You can make do with that information whatever you like, okay? But for Wike, to them, he has shot himself on the foot with his tantrums and all his maneuvering, anti-party, they call it. And in fact, he is considered as an enemy of the North. Now, in their plots, in the next few months, right, Wike would have no kind of, immunity or any kind of protection that will make him blab the way he's currently blabbing, especially with the load of corruption that is also waiting or hanging on him. This is Atiku, so which means they have a plan that the moment Atiku become president, Wike should automatically just find a way and go to exile, or else, well, you can ask those who have felt the pang of Buhari simply because of their relationship and their roles during the Jolantan's onslaught at the time. So Wike needs protection. Majority of them needs protection. Autumn from Benue needs protection too. For now, Autumn of Benue is the only state governor in Nigeria that currently has a fatwa on his head, on his neck, right? Hanging on his neck. Yes, he has been declared wanted, dead or alive, after his tenure as governor of Benue in 2023 by the Miyetti Fulani cow herders of Nigeria. I don't know if you remember that, where they've declared him wanted. So Autumn himself is looking for protection. And from the internal conversation, right, Autumn believed that whatever you are witnessing right now about the Fulani terrorism and the rest, under Buhari with Atiku, unago they say, Ashe Buhari is even better. Just same way many of you are currently remembering that Abacha seems to be better than what Buhari is putting you through. So to the likes of Autumn, they kind of have that that reservation about Atiku and the jihadists, the fanatics who have gained access into the system as well. So Autumn is also looking for protection, like running from fire or from frying pan to fire. Political survivor, they call it. So the two of them are in London from Friday, okay? Probably expecting Tinubu to join them. Now they are going to meet on a new agreement. Now that it's completely closed, that Atiku and Wike have parted ways just a while back as well. So whatever the offer will be, nobody has a clue until when Dino, they were asking Dino Melaye just recently. They were asking him too about Atiku's plan. In one of his, blabbing and all that, right? I want to say, listen to this. That's from
are you
Dino.
narrowing the opposition strictly to the APC and ignoring the movement that the obedience seem to be bringing on board? If you saw what happened.
No, I think we should take it one after the other. The first one was this statement on Atiku's national spread, according to Dino, right?
Yes, are you narrowing the opposition strictly to the APC? Yes, are you narrowing the opposition strictly to the APC and ignoring the movement that the obedience seem to be bringing on board? If you saw what happened in Abuja a couple of days ago, that's beyond 4 people tweeting in the room. It looks to me like, there are now 7 people, and that 7 might be the number, the magic number, that Nigerians are waiting for.
My brother, there are 2 sets of people running this election. Okay. Just like if you go to court, they said federal government against federal government versus Dino Melaye and others. So in this particular case, you have Atiku and others. That's APC, Labour, NNPP, all of them are others in this regard. And I want to tell you that to assemble crowd is just for you to bring out money. Mobilization is very, very cheap in this country. People are hungry. If you go to Yanya, you go to Mararaba, people who have been loaded in buses from Lugbe, from every part of this country to come and stand and say they are supporting them. But let it come to the election. I think Peter Obi was in Osun and he spoke in Osun, and we saw the result of a Labour Party in Osun. Labour Party had 2,700 votes, where PDP was counting 400 and something thousand. It is not about commercial mobilization of people. People are hungry. Definitely, if you go to Mararaba today, you say you need 5,000 people. With the blow of a whistle, they will assemble. And they will collect their 1,000 or 2,000 naira. That is what is happening. But we are not, it is not the march on the streets that will determine the votes. We are talking of proper votes, and Nigerians know that Atiku is speaking to the issues. We are not on a hype movement. We are not on a impression agenda setting. No. We are practical. We are real. We are interacting with the voters who will come and vote. I know a number of people who went for the Abuja rally who are saying that we have to go and collect our own. So, I mean, that is not what I'm talking about. So when I talk about APC, I talk about APC and others, all of them put together. Nigerians are wiser. Nigerians now know the truth. Nigerians know who will rescue.
Obedience. They say Nigeria, politicians, like I said, that is where they put you. That's how they call that kind of talk, they talk in a condescending way. It's called talking down, like, people are poor. If we need 5,000 people, we just go there, go to Maraba Market, and you call them and say, yeah, come and do rally. It is true that the people have been made poorer. And 1,000 naira, 500 naira, you will also gather people. We have seen APC, Egbe, under Buhari, they have done that many times in that same Abuja. People are poor, of course. But according to him, that's not enough. And if you see any crowd behind OB and all that, I mean, they are just hired. I know some of you never loved that. I mean, you have been so raging since you heard that. Again, there's a part where, Dino, representing Atifku, said,
put together. Nigerians are wiser. Nigerians now know the truth. Nigerians know who will rescue them. Nigerians know who will deliver for them. And Nigerians know that no regional champion has ever become the president of this country. No regional champion has become Awolowo was a fantastic leader with every sense of humility and order, very refined man. But because he was playing regional card, he never became the president of this country. Azikiwe played regional card, he never became the president of this country. Buhari himself, on 3 attempts as a regional champion, did not make the presidency. It was when he now went on the national platform, called Saraki, called Atiku, called Tinubu, and everybody put together. He ran on the national platform before he became the president of this country. So I want to tell you that we're not distracted by that imaginary position. Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Dino Melaye, thank you so much for your time. But a quick fact check, Nnamdi Azikiwe was president of Nigeria, actually. So just a quick fact check. All right, thank you so much for your time. Take a short break.
I said when he ran subsequently in the Second African Republic.
No, but he was the first president of Nigeria. Azikiwe was the first president of Nigeria.
Was he elected on the national platform as president? He was a ceremonial president.
All right, we'll take a short break now. When we return.
So that's the part we were talking about as well. But you see, if you ask me why was that clip, I'm just trying to share with you the type of violence that you are to get yourselves prepared for as different clowns will begin to make mouth, even though their real life reality would never reflect whatever they are going to be saying to you. These clowns are going to be on your TV. These fraudsters, scammers, liars, they're going to be everywhere. They're going to be talking. But when you look at them, they would, I mean, I don't know, maybe in Nigeria where you worship them, or for sensible people, they are more like clowns, criminals, like bunch of criminals who can be anything, anytime, just to get whatever they want. That's why I started with that of Tinubu. Many of you know that Tinubu is not well. Okay, you know it. But millions of you would want him. It doesn't matter, because to you, Almighty Allah, Almighty God is the knowest. Is the one who knows when we are going to die, this or that. Is the one who knows who is going, blah, 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 blah. If anybody want to grow old, anybody can be, and all those things you tell yourselves. And all the trauma you're going to put to yourselves. But the fact is, you know that Tinubu is not well. You know it. That one is a fact. Okay? If you know what is wrong with him, maybe somehow some of you will feel like maybe he should go and take care of himself. But it doesn't matter. He's here in the UK. They are looking after him. Okay. Once they pump him up, once they do all they have to do around him, to take their money and all of that, they put him back in his private jets, and they're flying back to you. All of you who they say anybody can go and get healthcare anywhere. Can you come to London and get healthcare? You, Mr. Akunle, Egbon, can you, if you have any medical emergency, can you come to London and come and use NHS quickly and go back to Nigeria? Can you? You know that is not true, Abi? Okay. Anyway, that is that. So they will bring him back to you. And you will then begin to say, thank God, thank God. Then he will come back to come and promise you better health care for your children, for old people, for young people, and you will believe him. Atif could live in Dubai. He get his medical care in Dubai. He probably would have loved to go to America to go and get his medical care too. But Atif will come to London. He will go to Dubai as well to get his medical. He lived there. But he's going to come to Nigeria to come and tell you how he's going to build you medical care, this or that, and all of, and you're going to believe him. And there are many clowns like that. Clowns like Dino Melaye. He's articulate, he's sagacious, he's competent, and you will believe them. So when they now take that chance, and everybody goes back to the trenches, you begin to wonder, hey God, which kind of people be this again? God, come and save us from them. Oh God, please, God, I beg you, and the rest of that. So my point here is that it is Nigeria, okay? And it is only Nigeria that could allow them to do this again and again. You are just pawn on their chess table, okay? And being pawn on their chess table leaves you with no choice except the choices that they put before you. Somehow, you can be a rebel and just say, no. I mean, just say no to the lies and see how that feels. How you can be far away from that catch-22 that many of you have found yourselves. So you don't get blackmailed emotionally because of this kind of characters. And it is only Nigeria that allowed them. Trust me. If all of us are in our own spaces, doing our own things, running our own affairs, defining our own rules and policies, and on like that, we could indeed easily hand the characters like this, donning our own social space and making decisions for us, so to say. So I think you should think about that if you have any thing in mind. So yeah. Now let's see other parts. I was doing my JJJ strolling about as usual, and then I came about a page where people were having meltdown. Kilo today, what is going on? Why the fight here and again? They said that because some people released a poll again. I'm going to share that with you, and I'm going to sort of see what you feel as well. Now, this was right. This was I think about a few hours ago, but it is this. So they said that if they do their electoral charade today, as those who are angry, raging, and they are planning to take back their own pound of flesh from a system that has kept them under the generational backwardness and poverty and all that, right? This is what will happen. Now, look at your screen, right? Where's my own screen? Let me get my own on. Don't be everybody care, sure you get. But this is causing a big meltdown. They said that Obi, they said they were calling those who have registered this particular body, yeah? They said they were asking them, what would be your preference if they have to say, maybe you go choose one of these people today, and they 51% of them said they will go for Obi. That's why I told you that, you know, one thing, right? Whether na Tifku, whether na Tifnumbu, whether na Obi, whether na any of these guys, as long as one Nigeria exists, right? Whatever happens, all of us are going to share in the consequences of this. And that is why we must continue to raise the awareness to let them know that, yeah, they might currently be in the dragnet of what the system, kind of conditioned them to be. However, any one of them, like Buhari, that eventually, get in charge of Nigeria, now all of us go pay. So it better may you jump out now. It better when we have the chance, may we jump out now. I mean, I wish we have the majority who could actually push that right away. Anyway, so they said they were calling people. And they said that it's going to be this way. No be me do amo, not them do amo. Now, I started seeing people melting down. They started melting down on social media. All this nonsense, rubbish. You this it's not be me. I know many of you blame me for many things in your lives. Okay, especially those of you who are like the Buhari idiots, the cyberbarians, and then a PDP, and most of you one Nigerianist anyway. You blame me, unfortunately, for many things that is wrong in your lives. Is this Maiyegun that is causing problem in Nigeria? Now it's people like this Maiyegun that is creating problem in Nigeria. So, okay, so fine. No be me do that one. No be me said that your polo. I don't even have any contact of any of your whatever. But it's out there. But you are catching emotion. You are throwing tantrum. You are feeling so bad. You are feeling somehow, as if to say you actually have real say. In who becomes what and when. Let's break it down. Oh, break it down. Normal. For those who are in the know of how your politics works, you and I, we know that it is buying and selling sort of a experiment. Sabi? Don't lie, yo. Don't pretend be a lori bruku kombi. Shall you hear me now? You know it's a buying and selling. Who can give more and what are they giving? Normal. This is how many of you position yourselves for who is going to give what and when. And then we decide where you want to swing to or not. That is the tradition, Abi. Whether na PDP, whether na APC, whether na PPM, whether na Origin, or whatever you are. That is the tradition. So don't try to pretend like, we don't know that's the real thing, right? Now, whoever pays more, usually, will have the way. Even some of you will say, with the level of money that Adebutu's son is spending, it's going to, you know what I mean? You always kind of get to know who spends more. So in that regard, it is about what they will give to you or what you are going to get from it. It is not really about who is going to do what or not. In fact, some of you naturally believe that you don't expect them to do anything. That's why when they construct kilometers of road, no drainage system, and all of that stuff, right? You go and get Ankara, start dancing. Hey, Adukwe, for the past 32 years, we have been begging them to come and fix this road. Thank God, though, Arishekola has fixed the road. Governor Arishekola. You are so surprised. You are so happy. They say, let us thank them. I say, but the road no get street light. We thank them that they still do this one. We don't need street light. We'll do that one later. You are surprised. You are so grateful because they have denied you the good things of life for so long that when they finally say take, it is always like, man, we should just thank God that they remember us and all that. So you know that. But you also know that it is beyond what they give you. Those they will give rice, those they will give this or that. Okay, it's beyond that. There are many of you who are recruited. Your own job is to help ensure the manipulation of the entire process, and they pay you stipend. And after all of that, beyond you, there are another layer of those who are going to fix every madaru that you all orchestrate and then you are part of. Until they finally say, hey, finally, that is your governor. Hey! Then everybody go back to their hard lives. And you do the same thing again and again and again. So there is no point in you losing your mind. If somebody wake up tomorrow and say, who is going to win 2023 election? It's going to be Tinubu. You go there, lose your mind. Hey, God punish you. God, you are all wasting your time. Do you want to hear the truth? The truth is that, save for all of you who have different vision of what you think Nigeria should be like, when it comes to the set of all these characters posing as your saviors and rescuers, right? It is one agenda, and that agenda is called One Nigeria. And you know, if they ask us that in the next few days, Nigeria will be 62 years, they used to call her giant of Africa. Now, Nigeria has become the giant burden of Africa. Today, 62 years, one Nigeria. That is what you're going to get for another 62 years. Because if you understand the word one Nigeria, the coinage of it, without the consent of everyone that is dragged into it, yeah, then you understand why whatever those clowns tells you now, if you are smart enough and you value your own mental health, you will never lose your mind. So if then like, may then say Atiku will, the other day then say Tinubu go win. Tomorrow the fit tell you say Atiku go win. But that's how you are going to be going through that back and forth. But there's something that can save us from all of this. And that is break it up to save lives. Peter Obi is one of the candidates who says something about that. The first candidate of theirs who says something similar to what I just said now was Moyele Sowore, the one that they probably have told you, you know, is your enemy, as some of you have chosen. Moyele Sowore said, Maiyegun, I agree with you that you see the way Nigeria is, it will never work. But there is also something that I want you to remember, to know always, Maiyegun, and that is with the characters who have been part of this system and who are still part of the system that brought many of us to this stage, a stage of telling ourselves the truth, that if we really care about progress, peace, unity, and development, right, everyone should go their separate ways. When we say that, it simply means you can make decisions and act on them in your own part of Nigeria, yes, without any other parts having to be part of those who decide on that under this unitary fraudulent system of government. Sowore said, I agree. But do you know why they will continue to get support and then funding to wage war against any part of Nigeria that wants to go away? It's simply because the characters that should normally make the reasons understandable to the people they represent, the values, the tradition, the culture, the identities of those they represent in Project Nigeria. Are you with me? Those who are part of that Project Nigeria, that should explain the reasons why Yorubas will do better, Igbos will do better, Hausas and Fulanis will do better, and in every part they found themselves that they legitimately own as theirs. So to say, if they are not part of this entire forced contraption, But the Yorubas that is part of Nigeria, the Igbos that are part of Nigeria, the Hausa, Fulani, and other ethnic, 200 ethnic nationalities that are part of Nigeria, and their representatives, they are more interested in what they are going to get for themselves than what their people truly deserves. So Sowore came here and he said, Maiyegun, I agree that for progress to come, then definitely every region needs to handle their own affairs. But it's never going to happen, Maiyegun. It will never happen with these guys. Whether they are PDP-APC, Labour, or NNPP, or whatever party they call themselves, it's never going to happen. Why? Because the survival of the ruling class, the elite, who make their millions and billions, and who are parading themselves based on this wondrous and porous Nigeria, they will never let that happen. It can only happen when these guys lose that power. And losing that power is never through an election. Sowore said that on this platform, and there's never been any truest word said. And he said, whatever can be done, whether it's going to be through the ballot, a revolution, you see, this entire system and the beneficiaries of it, they must go. They can never be part of the solution that we eventually bring in or usher in. The type of development that some of you have in mind, you will never get them through any of these guys, ever. Sowore was the first person to say that here. He said, I support the Yoruba nation 100%. I support the independence of Biafra 100%. But according to him, with Yorubas here, the Igbos there, and others here and there, apart and pursuing their own their own personal agenda as it is, if you pay attention very well, the owners of Nigeria, they also come from all these tribes. As long as they have hold on the leverage of power, they will never allow that to happen. Then Peter Obi came, playing on that sentiment. In his own words, he said, listen, APC, Egbekegbe, people destroying people, they have contributed immensely to this level of division that we are witnessing today. And they ask him, what would be your reaction to the people who are demanding for Biafra and the people who want Yoruba nation? As a typical politician, he dodged the question, but he actually answered it to some extent. That is, he was able to say this word. He said, the failure of leadership, the growing poverty, which has also created so much gap within the populace, has created and contributed to the agitation for Biafra and Yoruba nation. And in his own word, he said, rather than go after them and killing them, a responsible government will know that until Nigeria is completely broken, all these people demanding for their own, autonomous states, independent states, they are demanding for them because of the injustice that they are currently experiencing in Nigeria. That is in no way looking like it's coming to an end, not anytime soon. He said a responsible government will not turn their guns on them, okay? They will engage them. They will have conversation around what are the injustices and how much is the effort the government is actually making to address them rather than declare them enemies and turn your guns on them. Then on the other hand, you want them to be patriotic. You want them to love Nigeria. You want them to speak good of Nigeria, the same Nigeria that is killing them, that is, hunting them, profiling them, jailing them. I mean, it doesn't make any sense, does it? So it's the only candidate as well currently who did say something about that conversation. So in a way, the likes of Tifnumbu, the likes of Atifku, they are promising unity in the face of injustice. They are promising unity in the face of impunity. They are promising unity in the face of all this charade and fraudulent, what do you call it, forcefulness, so to say. But by and large, short and long, however you played it, to those of us who have seen through all of this, we know where it is going to end. Okay? So preferably, anyone who is who is part of any group, organization, individuals that has publicly, I'm talking about publicly, rejected this criminal system that thrives on what do you call it? Give me a second. It's like we have one of these Lagos Abobakus here. Listen, I know it can be painful, all right, to see that somebody, somehow, is talking about Tifnumbu. You see, instead of you to tell me to probably get a job or get something doing, right, I'm going to say you should use your own time. So, right, in all honesty, use your time as much as you have, if you have job yourself, right, use your time to try and help the people who destroyed Nigeria, Tifnumbu and gang, okay, to save the brothers and sisters that you have dipped into perpetual poverty. You don't have shame. Now, look at this. What Nigeria has become, why many of us are going to continually tell you to distance yourself from whatever these criminals are promising. It is same of the same, is that Nigeria has become a fascist state, and the description of a fascist state, according to, give me a sec, according to the to the wise men in this live, right? They said, give me a minute. There's a place I actually dubbed that earlier, fascism, right? And I want you to pay attention to this as well, okay? When you look at the kind of the character of people that you're going to see who are pro one Nigerians, right? Who are like Lagos Abobakus, what do you call it, the Oshogbo Alimajiris and co, especially the cyberbarians. Pay attention to this. So they are one Nigerianists, and they're like, if you kind of be on the opposing side to all these rogues, all these criminals, all of these, urinating relics that they worship, you can see the following characters in them, okay? And that is exactly what the future of Nigeria is. If you care about the future of your own children, listen to me, you will jump off that voyage of that one Nigeria, okay? Listen to this. So, fascists, the fascists of this world, right? If you see them, they are like, they promote things like being powerful and continuing nationalism. Do you get that? They will be talking about nationalism, our national, our country. Wait for it. They call it early signs or early warning or warning signs of fascism. Powerful and continuing nationalism, disdain for human rights, identification of enemies as a unifying cause. Once you oppose, you are an enemy. Then they have supremacy. They have what they have. I mean, in that society, you see supremacy of the military. The military is dreaded. they are like above almost everyone in such society. Rampant sexism. For example, women are limited to this. Men are expected of this. There are kind of expectation in that society, right? Then they have a controlled mass media. They control the media so that they feed you with whatever they want you to be repeating, okay? They program you and all that, okay? So they have obsession with national security. Every small thing, they would say, for the sake of national security. Oh, for the sake of national... They don't care about any national security, oh. Do you get that now? Any small thing, they'll say, national security. National security. No. That's fascism, okay? Then they have the obsession for it. They can kill you because if they kill you, they'll say they killed you because of national security, okay? Now, they have religion. In that society, you have religion and government intertwined. That is when you will see politicians using God in place of hard work and responsibility. I am opening this all in the name of the Father, of the Son, of the Holy Spirit. Or I am opening this hospital in the name of Almighty Allah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. They say, in the name of Allah. Meanwhile, the hospital will have no medical equipment. The hospital will have no real anything at all, you get? But they mix religion with government in such society. That is Nigeria for you. Now, in that society, the corporate, or let me say the corporate power, are well protected. Monopoly system, quota system. You see, you have billionaire, the richest man in Africa, quota system billionaire from Nigeria, the man that they shot Nigerian border for, and they gave him the extra key to open the border and bring in the same thing that they are killing people for if they find them in Nigeria. Monopoly and all that. The man that can construct a refinery, but the entire country, Nigeria, couldn't maintain a refinery, talk less of building another one. You know, that kind of thing is well protected. They will even make laws to keep them safe. That society, that is what you have there. Then labor power is suppressed. You're right, as somebody who is either a worker, who contributes to the same economy, because you are the engine room. All of you are cleaners, drivers, teachers. All of you who actually run the economy, okay? You will never have any say in such society. They will suppress any power of labor, so to say. So they have disdains for intellectuals and arts, okay? So if you are into any sort of intellectualism, they don't want you, okay? Remember, Nigeria, for example, never lack intelligent people, brainy people. I'm talking about wise people who have gone far in their different choosing their careers and fields outside Nigeria. But when you go back to Nigeria, the worst of the worst, the relics of that society, they are the ones ruling the place, controlling the affair, making laws and policies for the rest of you, and you are expecting progress in such society. Now, listen to this. So they have, according to they said, they have rampant, or let me put it this, they have obsession with crime and punishment. In such society, they always want to tell you what is crime, or sorry, what is a criminal offense and what is not, and how much of that punishment they can give to you. In Nigeria today, thieves who publicly looted the public fund, who are sent to jail. Some of them still standing trial, and they are still politically relevant, choosing who is going to be who, even themselves running for offices. In such society, there's always obsession with crime and punishment. Therefore, it simply means in that same system, you go see somebody will go jail, and then you go appeal. Then they say you win election, he become a senator to go and make laws against what? Crime. Such society. They are called leaders in Nigeria, a bunch of criminals that you worship and celebrate. Okay? Now, here is another one. They have rampant cronyism. Cronyism and corruption. You know, in Nigeria, what you have is who knows who. Abi, Shemukparo, Nalai, Obi, who knows who. Majority of you are existing for. Those of you who have not had the opportunity of knowing who, you are joining us now to complain, Abi. But the moment you get to know somebody, if he be your counselor, if he be somebody in all of these roguish groups, that's what you are looking for. Cronyism, where you have proxies and replace and all of that stuff. That's what you are known for in Nigeria. And corruption. In Nigeria, people don't hate corruption. Oh. Many people just don't like that they are not the ones benefiting from that corruption. Oh. No this and no peace. Do you get that now? No this and no peace. They don't really hate corruption. Okay? They just sometimes, they just most times don't like that they are not the ones that is benefiting from that corruption. So they join us to speak up. Yeah, this government is bad. The moment they say, they have given Tamba Bioko, they don't give them appointment. Essay to the governor on social media. Tamba Bioko will come back and start speaking grammar and said, why do you hate him? Why is it that you hate Tinubu? Every time, Tinubu. Is it Tinubu your problem? They say, Tamba Bioko, you and I and the rest of us, 2 years ago, all of us, they tell our truth. So we say, all these people are criminals, so they don't give you appointments now. You don't they ask us or they call us enemies. Enemies of your oppressors. That is what that is anyway. And finally, they always have fraudulent elections. Fraudulent elections. Fraudulent elections like what you are preparing yourselves for today. So look at me very well. I know Nigeria, they have denied you so many opportunities, okay? Right? Let me tell you something. You cannot say Maiyegun has no job. It is actually so old. Something that some of you should kind of, if not because of the terrible education, that the likes of Tinubu and those who you call your leaders, that they have actually, that they gave to you. Listen, this is 2022, okay? Now, personally, as a trained, as a trained customer service expert, right? Yeah, I have a job that ordinarily fetches me over £24,000 every month. Every year, okay? That is annually. I have that. Then even if I choose not to even work again in my life, do you understand something, right? I have social media platform that ordinarily sharing my views like this, and you coming here to watch and comment and say whatever you want to say all the time actually gives me over 1 million views every month. 1 million views. Do you know what that simply means? I could choose not to work again. So it is so lame that so many of you are like, who are supposed to be living in that same world today. Let me tell you something. Now, so many of you are so talented. So many of you are so gifted. So many of you have so many things that the world could probably learn 1 or 2 things from. In fact, so many of you could indeed build a community, communities that are contributory to your own development if these criminals created that enabling environment for you. Electricity, you know, get. Okay? You don't have electricity. Talk less of having stable internet connections, unlimited internet connections that could indeed probably somehow showcase that hidden gold mine in you. So it is lame, it is old, and it is totally ignorance for you in this 2022, where Maiyegun, as of today, where you can type it on your Google and say, this Maiyegun's diary, how much is the worth of Maiyegun's diary as a platform? Then you will begin to understand why so many of us are only speaking up today simply because no matter what we become, no matter the successes we actually earn, no matter how much we grow, Nigeria will continue to be a threat to people like me, to people like you, hardworking people everywhere who could easily have enjoyed their hard work and sweat. They don't have any business with your politicians. We don't have any business with your government. They failed to create a society that could be a society of love, care, and others for others. Not the one with sociopathic criminals like many of you, like your leaders. Places where Maiyegun, me, I can choose to be in that same Yoruba land, right? A peaceful, crime-free, prosperous, not an impoverished place where everyone is looking for who to take advantage of. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? I mean, if you take out the opportunities they have denied you, there's nothing special in this place other than there is a society. I mean, there is a system that doesn't have to check if I am black or white or green or brown before I can actually have access to opportunities. Not because I know somebody or trying to know somebody or anywhere. Do you understand that? That same opportunity, that same system is what many of us are speaking up against. Because today, many of us who work hard for our money, I work hard for my money, okay? And every penny of it, every penny of my money is worth the effort I put into them, okay? So now, if I say I'm going to Nigeria, let me go and enjoy my life. Let me go and meet my family, friends, neighbors, people we grew up with. Then I would have to what? I would have to remember that, somehow, I may get robbed. I may get kidnapped. If I have any medical emergency, I may actually die because I won't have access to it. If, if I decide that I just want to go on different tour on the different part of my own region, I will be told it's not safe. At the end of the day, people like me, I would have to take my money and go elsewhere. The only thing that I ended up having to contribute to Yoruba land is to continue to send you money. So don't ask me to go and get a job. I can give you a job if I was hiring, okay? Because ordinarily, many of you who are doing Bambiala behind all of these politicians, many of you who are licking asses, those of you who are chasing crunch, who are chasing crumbles from the tables of these politicians, you could have actually excelled like Maiyegun. Many of you, if Nigeria of 23 years of democracy, if now only electricity they gave to you 24/7, there are many of you who would have created your own businesses and maintained and sustained them, even though it may not be easy, because it's not easy anyway. But you probably would have done that instead of becoming a vuvuzela, a beggar, ass licker for politicians. And look at me, you are now calling me your enemy when I have not done anything to you. I have not done anything to you. Absolutely nothing. But in a way, this beggar, this beggar that is defending his roguish criminals who found Maiyegun as an enemy wants Maiyegun to go and look for a job. I mean, how lame is that? I'm just saying. You may not have thought about it that way, but I'm saying it to you, okay? Today, there are many of you who would have to beg people in order for you to be able to pay for hospital bills. You have to beg people before you can even pay for pay for your for your children's school fees. There are many of you who have to, young people who have to go and sell your bodies, ladies who have to go and sleep with politicians who took away all these opportunities from you. And today, you will see Maiyegun and say, shut up your mouth. You are enemy of progress. When I have not in any way been part of those who have contributed to your backwardness, generational poverty that has kept many of you under their wrap for so long. The society they created is the one that is a danger. I mean, that is so dangerous, so to say, to every one of us, including you. You may not be thinking, oh, I understand, oh. It'd be like one guy, when I said that Tinubu is coming here to come and get medical care, the guy is living in Ghana. They say, there are many Nigerians, Yorubas and others who have relocated to Ghana. Some of them who are like APC, Egbe supporters, they are into Yahoo. So they say Ghana, if they see with them in Ghana, they are Yahoo in Ghana. So this guy came and he said, you are so senseless because you said that Tinubu is coming here to come and get medical care. Buhari Pro Max. And I said, well, I want to be, I want to near. Yes, I want yala ya enle. I want one was senseless. I just, just that's both as usual. And then then the guy came and said, if to say your father fixed Nigeria, something like that, like, if my father fixed Nigeria, I will not be living in Scotland. Or something like if Tinubu is president of Nigeria, I will not be living in Scotland. They say, weary, you are living in Ghana, where they have somehow, managed to push you, the place where your own little chance could push you to. And from that Ghana, you are pushing for the continuation of the poverty of that actually sent you out of Nigeria. You are pushing for furtherance of that back in Nigeria, so to say. So normally that's who they are. When you talk about the Lagos Abobako, I am not your enemy. I don't like you, and I know you don't like me, but I am not your enemy. Okay? Because what happened is that the rogues and the criminals that you probably want to keep being in charge of your affair, the consequences of their actions are not limited to just you. Many of us are affected too. Okay, I know they where your police fee touch me, and your police will be doing they will be using me to, slapping me or anything. It's never going to happen. I am not in anywhere close to that, right? I'm not closer to where your DSS or your other criminal roguish groups who are supposed to keep you safe, provide security for you, are busy hunting you down, profiling you, freezing your account, chasing you here and there. I am not close to any of that. I don't have Nigeria. I don't have bank account in Nigeria. I don't have anything that could indeed be so easily accessible to them to take, except if they want to take my land in Odogbolu. And they can take the land anyway if they want to as well. But apart from that, I am not. But every day, all your wishes and all of that for the continued existence of Nigeria under this arrangement is a threat to me. It's a threat to you. It's a threat to all these rogues that you are also defending. To the point that if they have medical emergency now, they have to bring them to where I live. The same place where I can easily just take my car now and drive down and go and see my GP. And my GP say, I want me, you scan me, do this, do that for me. But they have to come here because indeed, if you come into the medical centers, hospitals here in the UK, you will feel it that you are within the medical space where people can tell you what's in the wrong, what's in there with you. Do you get that now? So, I am not your enemy. And what we want is that I know as long as Nigeria continues to exist in this arrangement, people like us are not safe. You are not safe, okay? Forget about all this, okay? Forget about all these other things I've told you. Even you watching me right now personally, who is not even like against any of what they are doing. You are even supporting them. You know you are not safe. Everything they represent is to endanger you, but you are not saying it that way. And you want to turn everybody to Dabi Moshida. So I get my own small money that I work for, like many of you too. But the problem is that with this existing Nigeria, with this APC, with this one Nigeria, I may never have a chance to enjoy that. Now, look at it another way. In another way, they have contributed to what is still going to become a bigger and bigger and bigger problem that all of us are going to face in the future. I'll tell you. You see, even when Nigeria break up tomorrow, let's say Yoruba nation comes tomorrow, the damages that the likes of this Tinubu and gang, they have done to Yoruba land, to Yoruba people, I'll tell you one of them. And maybe some of you should start thinking now as well. The longer Yoruba is still part of this contraption under this arrangement, the sadder and more unfortunate that future is like going to be for us. And I'll tell you, In 1999, when Nigeria get democracy, this fake democracy, that was 23 years ago. As degenerated as Nigeria has become today, as grown as the basket of the poverty, or let me say the poor people, the number of poor people in Nigeria continue to grow. So in the last 23 years, look at all of the young children that were given birth to 23 years ago. They are no longer children. Oh. They are adults. So many of them are married. Some are not married. They have their children they are taking care of right now. Life is eating them so bad and terribly that if you ask what made that happen, go and check the type of education they gave to them. As all of you are trying, as all of us were struggling through life, trying to make the best of what we can of our own lives and our family with what Nigeria is throwing at you and throwing at everyone. What you don't know is that there are millions of other Yoruba sons and daughters that were abandoned, just like millions of them have been abandoned as you are watching this video today, as they are promising you this and that. In 23 years of democracy in Nigeria, ask yourselves, how many of you who are 23 years old today, watching Maiyegun right now, from any part of Nigeria, how many of you can say, if Nigeria continue like this in another 5-10 years, you will survive? Be honest, 23 years of age, those of you who are Yorubas, who were born 23 years ago when democracy started, they abandoned you. They ruined your education. They ruined your dietary through your own, the type of healthcare system, the access to food, and every other thing that you've experienced in your lives for the past 23 years. Today, so many of you are uneducated. Many of you are miseducated. Some of you are graduates today. You are unemployable. The type of skills they gave to you will never put food on your table or feed your family anymore. Now you just have to resort to something else just to get through life. Many of you that were given birth to 23 years ago, this is not a cause, so you are going to be poor for the rest of your lives. I am not trying to make you feel bad. I am trying to make you see the light, because 23 years ago, you never knew you are going to be Nigerians. Did you? Your parents who gave birth to you, they had dreams. 23 years after, and you are living in Nigeria today, tell me, how many of you can boldly say, if Nigeria continue like this, Maiyegun, sir, I should not lie to you, sir, what I'm going through in Nigeria. And you know why they have incapacitated you? I figured it out. They started incapacitating us as Nigerians in Nigeria through the type of education they gave to us. The type of education they gave to us is the type you can call the servitude education. The one that programs you and prepares you to just say, yes, sir, yes, ma, just obey and go. If you dare question the obvious, you are going to be outcasted, or you're going to be called a rebel. And then at the end of the day, if you end up having to fight through life and make it, you to be on your own. Now, those they conditioned, all of us, they conditioned to be obeying yes, sir, yes, ma. Respect elders, respect this, respect that. Respect pastor, respect imam. Fear this, fear that. All of us, they conditioned to that part. They ended up making us become people who can't think for ourselves, people who are not confident enough to take decisions, people who cannot see through, who cannot see anything through in life. Education they fed us with prepared many of us to exist just for existence sake. We are going to be poor for the rest of our lives. This is not a matter of God is going to make you rich. Many, many millions of you are programmed, and you're going to be poor for the rest of no amount of help. Now, I use this frame of 23 years ago. This is a recent history, okay? Whether you are PDP or APC, I don't give a damn about that. I'm talking to you right now, just to let you know the effect that those who never got real education, they will lack social empowerment enough that they could even empower themselves. They would have to rely on whatever the system actually thrown at them. And they will have to survive through that as well for the rest of their lives, because they will never have the educational qualification or the type of educational, booster that they needed to be empowered and be responsible themselves. And it is deliberate. So 23 years. Now you have jobless young people all over the place. So what do you think is going to happen when we get Yoruba nation? We're going to start educating adults. We're going to start a mass re-education. We're going to tell people that they can think for themselves. We're going to tell them that they can think and act on their own enough that they can be responsible for their own actions. We're going to tell them that they shouldn't blame devil or God for whatever they choose or do. Are we going to do all of that in order to change the orientation of everyone? These guys deliberately put everybody in disregard in order for them to keep you under their control forever and ever. So you can call me your enemy, even if I have done nothing to you. You can call me the enemy of your progress, even if you know that I am not anywhere close to even seeing the progress in you at all. But whatever it is, you will never, ever have to one day call me one of them who did this to you. I am not one of those who did this to you or doing this to you. I am one of those telling you that you can think outside the box. You can actually be a rebel in a system that doesn't give a damn about you. A system that wants you to exist for statistics' sake. And that somehow is a threat for those who have tasted their freedom. I have tasted freedom. What is freedom? Freedom is when I can do what I want whenever I want under the legal limits. Because that is why you have laws. Laws are meant to remind you that you can do all you want whenever you want under the limitation of the law. A system that so many people are kind of angry with, like, why do we have law? Why do you have to say this? But fine, I can do whatever I want, ladies and gentlemen. If you look at most people who kill behind all these criminals in Nigeria, they are not queuing behind Tinubu. They're not queuing behind Atiku because they love Nigeria. You are not queuing behind Tinubu because you love Nigeria now. Tell yourself the truth now. Abi, you are queuing behind Buhari because you love Nigeria, and you are seeing what is going on right now, and then you say, oh, it's because I love Buhari more than Nigeria, or you love Tinubu more than... You're not doing it because of that. Many of you are doing this because of what you are going to get. Many of you are doing it because of the fear of poverty, okay? But none of you could do what you want whenever you want. You do what you can. You do what they dictate or expected of you to do. That's not the word that you should, in a way, never feel threatened. I can go wherever I want, whenever I want. I can do whatever I want, whenever I want. I can buy whatever I want, whenever I want. Reasonably so. That is the freedom of what so many people are actually looking for. And that's why I said that, you see, if I see anyone who is bold enough to say, this system, I would do everything to contribute to its end, that system is what you are bringing to an end. And that's why I said that if you love Nigeria, you should break it up. Breaking it up is simply that let all the criminals go back to where they come from. May everybody go deal with their own criminals. They say if we get Yoruba nation, right? They said that the same criminals are still going to be in charge. I say, okay, you wait and see. If your own criminals or your own terrorists return back to you, give them red carpets, build them palaces, and then, do whatever they want that will make them continue to live like kings, the king of thieves. So that is why I said that, Nigeria is a threat the way it is currently structured. It is a threat not only to you, not just to me, even to those who are benefiting from it. You have reason now. You get a stomach ache because you are a big man. They have to go and start a plane. And they have to fly you 14 hours to America to go and treat a stomach upset. You are coming out of the shower on your tiles, in your porch house. You fell down. You broke your leg. And then the next thing, instead of them taking you to Bubi, where they have standardized it better than any orthopedic hospital all over the world, they didn't do that. So they have to package them, start a plane, and they have to fly them 6 hours to a London hospital. And you, the mumu, You are back in Nigeria praying to God for his quick recovery. And we are praying to God for your quick recovery, sir. Shade those ones, they like themselves. Who likes themselves enough that they deny you the good things of life? They deny themselves too. So you can see me as your enemy. You can say anything, but I understand that you will only say all of that because you are a fraudulent one Nigerianist. Tell yourself the truth. That's the truth. You don't like me, not because I did anything to you, not because I contributed to your miserable lives, not because I contributed to the national grid that is collapsing. Epilepsy. They say collapsing national grid. It be like they say UK national grid collapsed. Electricity gone. No light in London, no light in Glasgow, no light in Edinburgh, no light in Belfast, no light here and there. And they are saying that, oh, they have brought the light back again. Oh, thank God, it's only for a few hours. If no be say una don mad, are you with me? So that's the point, too, that I didn't do anything to you. I did not pay the terrorists that are killing you. The point is, the people who are hurting you, they are hurting themselves too. But they don't care since you don't care. Let everybody hold their own thieves. No be fights, okay? If Okorocha, Oples Uzodigba, Devulumayi, and the rest of all those rogues from Eastern Nigeria who have contributed to the backwardness of the Eastern Nigeria, contributed to what has now become the most divided Nigeria today, in either through their collaboration, their silence, and what have you, the Igbos can deal with their own criminals. Let the Arewas go and deal with their own criminals. And then let us in Yoruba land deal with our own criminals and the Agberos they have created. Do you understand that now? So if you are asking for Yoruba nation like me, I want you to remember that the damages done to us by Nigeria is beyond the economic damages. We can recover from the economic ruins that Nigeria has brought upon us as a people. 62 years of generational poverty, 62 years of ego better. Now, many of us are fathers. Many of you are mothers today. Many of you are parents now. Now that you are parents, your children are now shouting up NEPA in your lifetime, and you are still there shouting, come back home and come and break it now. Look at this idiot. Go and look for a job. Jobless beggars telling somebody who has the same better life, if not better, than the criminals that are ruling you or leading you, is asking me to go and get a job. Baba, it go hard though. Do you understand that now? It go tough. But the same thing is this, right? Just remember, the choice that you are making is not only limited, the consequences of the choice you're making is not only limited to you, it affects those who don't want to be part of that nonsense, okay? So if Tinubu and gang comes back into Yoruba land, yeah, you will realize that, like I said, the damages they have done to us is beyond the poverty they have created. We can recover from that somehow, but there are some things we will never be able to recover from for 6 generations. Baba, you know what that means, eh? There are many of you. There are many of you today in your 50s, in your 60s. This is the Nigeria you have known. The one that you witnessed when you are like babies or kids. Now you are grown up to old men and women in your 60s. So, this is the Nigeria you have seen. And you can be very, very honest with yourselves that now this last 23 years alone, that I used as an example, when Yoruba nation comes, the ticking time bomb is the number of this disgraceful Yoruba sons and daughters who are lost completely in this charade and in this contraption called Nigeria. And they have become so worse off that self-hate is a pride to them. I'm a Nigerian. I'm a Nigerian before I'm a Yoruba. Says a confused Yoruba son or daughter. I just don't want to say something bad there, right? It is called self-hate, self-devaluation, lost identity. My friend, I know everything you are saying is to break up Nigeria. But let me tell you something. I'm a Nigerian before I'm a Yoruba man. I'm a Nigerian before I'm an Igbo man. Said a sort of, such a confused lot. You are confused though. Yes, you are. If Yorubas, as Yorubas, the damages they have done to us, which I believe are multifaceted. You see, the economic recovery part is the easiest. Dealing with the rogues who put us in this mess, we know them, we know their names, we know their family, we know where they keep all their properties. We know them, but we cannot touch them because Nigeria protects thieves. But as Yorubas, when Yoruba is not part of the contraption, we can recover economically so quickly. But the one that I scared foremost that we will never recover is the generation, especially the generation of this last 23 years. We will never recover from them. Because there's a saying that, the children that you failed to train properly will be the ones to burn down whatever you might have accumulated in your lifetime. If for them, that's exactly what Nigeria is. And that's exactly what Yoruba land is going to face in the future. Uneducated, miseducated Yorubas who are part of the rotten education system of Nigeria, they are going to be part of us. I am worried for them than I am worried for Tinubu and the rogues who are Yorubas that will be part of Yoruba, because they are Yorubas. Nobody is going to kick them out. What happened is that you will never, ever want to see criminals like that to ever be part of a new nation that is coming out of the ruins that their likes created. Do you get what I mean now? I am more worried for so many of you miseducated Lagos Abobakus, Oshogbo Alimajiris, the social media Facebook beggars Alimajiris, and the rest of you who have been programmed to be exactly what you are currently showcasing here and there. I am more worried for what you are going to become. Because if you are looking for our own future Boko Haram, even while we are still part of Nigeria, we have them lurking around. They are in their millions, as you are watching right now. They are everywhere in Yoruba land. They created them unproductive, unemployable, and then in any way, what do you call it? Unfavorable to themselves as well, unproductive, so to say. And political charade, political groupings are their own survivor key things. When they see these rogues and politicians, these criminals who put them in this entire mess for their own survival, they would defend them in a safe, independent, sovereign nation called Yoruba nation, right? I am more worried for these guys. How are we going to train them? How are we going to identify and engage them? How are we going to make them productive? I am talking about the generation of those they have made to believe that they can only survive begging or through crime. I said so many of us are growing up and then investing in our own growth. But every now and then you see all these children, out of school children, in different traffic in Lagos, traffic on Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, traffic on Lagos-Ore Expressway, Benin-Ore Expressway. Every express road where you have traffic, you will see young men and women, children who are there. You know what I mean? They are going to have to survive. These are the people that many of them nobody cared for them. You don't care for them. You probably don't know they exist. You don't even know the danger they pose and all of that. But one day, they are going to be the 1 million boys. They are going to have enough weapons to chase you out of your houses, your mansions, your offices, your markets, your roads. And they'll be demanding for their own tax from you. The politicians in Yoruba land are not telling you all of that. Although they are already showcasing that 20-year-old, 23 years old, they are now being recruited into different crime group in Yoruba land. They just haven't given them a name yet. You are going to be their victims, and they are going to be the product of that one Nigeria. When Yoruba land come, when Yoruba nation come, rather, I am worried more for them than many of you are worried for Tinubu and all that. So, if you are looking at the damages they have done, I just thought I should take you through that in this case. So, they are clowns that are going to promise you heaven and earth of things they will never do. And you are going to be the mumus, the mugus, who are going to believe them again and again. But just remember this. Remember my words, okay? Choose your poison very carefully. And then don't blame other people for the consequences of your choices, okay? I'm going to call it, I'm going to call it a night at this point. Usually I'll take calls. But let me see if my phone connection is still pretty much back on, okay? So support the advocacy, emergence of the renegotiation of this contraption called Nigeria. It is there to kill us, finish us physically, and then, spiritually too, or consciously, whatever you want to say. Nigeria, when it happens to those it has happened to, and the victims and all of those who are still like urging this to continue due to lack of understanding of what you are asking for. Just remember what I've told you tonight. The criminals that are going to promise you heaven and earth, they have their lives built elsewhere, like Buhari, like Tinubu, like Katifku, like the rest of them. They have their lives built elsewhere. And you have no life built anywhere else. And if you have any to build at all, it will be to what? Never to be part or continue to be part of this lie. I'll say that, and I'll leave you to your own choice and choices. But I'll take calls too, just before I call it a night. I'll make myself a cup of tea. And when I get back, we can possibly take 1 or 2 calls and say good night. So don't go anywhere. I'll be back.
Buhari is a running thing to wear.
Right. Thank you so much for your patience, right? I've got somebody on.
Yeah.
Ahmed, is that you? You still there?
Yeah, Maiyegun.
Anyway, thanks so much for waiting, okay? So you are connected now. Everybody can hear you. How are you?
Can you hear me clearly?
Loud and clear. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah.
Brilliant, Baba.
Good evening, good afternoon, good morning to everybody. LGBT, Larry.
So it's Larry. It's Larry in the house. I haven't seen him anyway, but go on.
Yeah, I greet you, my people of thoughts.
Temple.
Yeah, Mama Libati Show, Marona of the Bow. Because I fair, thank bad rough, which you fully fair not Lumari. Now, back to those mad fellows that used to come.
I mean,
you know, mostly if you post on Facebook, as they drop, and they follow drop comments. I don't know. You go see, when you just drop, you go see, you go see our boom under. As you drop, I go
only
just
first
follow
5 minutes and they go back there, because after that, the violence I'll be seeing, I'll just be like, no, I can't read all this again.
You go just go cause trouble there, just listen.
I just
you know, away. as you post this Tinubu when in the talk, and somebody will talk say in good school, who lost school, who kawe. You listen to Tinubu, you listen to what he said, and you start clapping.
And you are clapping.
You clapping to rubbish. Say, I ain't tell you because I don't understand. Someone
mostly
came out
because of money,
and
Papa. Mostly
rubbish.
it is because of money. Forget it. Others are because they are programmed that way, and they couldn't see beyond that tribal, religious, and every other thing. So, like I said before, Baba,
Maiyegun,
it is
you see, Maiyegun, somehow,
yeah.
Okay, any to ban rowo na ka teni pe okay, owó tó ń rí nbe o, mi ò jẹ́ kó rí ẹ kó pé lórí ẹ fi burú lójoojúmọ́ yẹn àtẹlẹgbọ́n yẹn pé o wà greedy. How about ẹni tó jẹ́ pé wàá jáde o rí nǹkan kan bẹ́ẹ̀ o sì sọ pé o lọ sùn o máa ń jókòó ìwà àtàwọn èèyàn máa ń sọ̀rọ̀. You have senses of reasoning and you will listen to nonsense confidently and you come out to defend rubbish. You are not gaining anything from
that one is actually deeper too. You know what you just said is that somebody will go school who see all of these things, right? Yeah. And is still there and the clapping. Like,
and you be clapping.
I get that. But
you know, those ones that they benefit from it, and at their time that they benefit and those ones too that they will defend rubbish. I know they are also hoping, but you are hoping for maybe 5 years. Oh, still you keep trying. Can't you try something else? Can't you just try something else and be truthful to yourself? Why daddy? Because Maiyegun posted something. He say, the way you are saying this about Tinubu, I hope you can say that about the other candidates. And later the idiot said, I'm not supporting Tinubu. I'm only supporting Showore. You should know the stand
it's all lies,
of Maiyegun. Maiyegun is not supporting any of them.
No, they want me
just
to
supporting the
see.
fact.
Ahmed, let's be honest, right? They believe they thought I am like everyone else. Some were like, okay, what is he going to talk about if he says we should not support all these people? Do you get that now? They wish.
Yeah.
But even when I told them that, normal, you don't even need me. I'm not useful to them. I'm useless to all of them. In every biggest sense, so they'll just say, he lives in Scotland. Number one, he's not in Nigeria. Okay. Number two, he has no electoral value. I have nothing. Okay, so number three, my support for anybody is useless. So for somebody like me who now came out and said, I have seen the Wiri 1, the Osinwin 2, then I can't see the Akama making it 3, Labour Party, food done ready to be that. Even upon all of that, they still come here and say, we want you to tell us something about other people. Wait till I won't tell you about Tiku where you don't know, or tell you about Obi where you don't know.
You see, I can see a lot of them. So you, Maiyegun should support. Will the content of Maiyegun should support Peter Obi? Come,
now.
Let me ask you, what do you know about Peter Obi? That is the question. What do you know about him? Is it just the social media friendly that you're seeing that is deceiving you?
They are Nigerians. Shey you see that clip too, Baba? Most save straight in the I get so many Lagos about okay? I get many obedience and I get many obedience, okay? So when I get, and I know how to deal with all these people, right? And I started seeing all this clip like you know that when people come and say Maiyegun, yeah, I mean you are supporting Obi. You don't like Tinubu. I'm like Kinimole Sovele, no, I don't know say you person with you away in your duty. Only video there's this particular video. Election and Nigeria B. Election and Nigeria B. And it was like, oh no, say then you know, sometimes I use that. Because I laugh as the way you are laughing, Baba, is the way I laugh at some of the comments. Before I post, I know what the reaction will be. I know those even Obi people, the day they came for me, I bet you saw that too. When I said something about somebody that if Obi should become Nigeria president, that you know, you have somebody who is going to look like his double or more. That president where I put beside Obi name. Those who are when they praise me, when they laugh, when they talk about Tifnumbu and Atifku, Obi people.
They will come for you now.
That day.
They will come for your head.
I thought this guy gets sense. I didn't even know that this guy is a useless person. Oh, he's a Yoruba man now. You can't just say he's a Yoruba man. You cannot trust Yoruba people now. He's a I was like, I know them very well. Baba, I know them. They are Nigerians.
As you drop your own, where you drop that clip too. Because now that video I first yeah, definitely you deserve this. I don't laugh, tire. You see, if you just post nothing, I go just go, I go just check the idiot, their reaction. Because I want to calculate, and calculate the numbers of mad people.
Honestly,
and I did just them, I did mark them. Honestly, I did mark their name.
If you go to MaiyegunsDiary Facebook, yeah. If you are see, I'm saying this to everyone. By the way, Ahmed, you know this, so back me up. If you are feeling a bad day, if you're having a bad day, okay, anywhere in the world, once in a while, just go to MaiyegunsDiary Facebook page. Go and read comments. Just comments.
Maiyegun notification day.
Just go read comments.
I get notification.
Where you sit down, you go to laugh.
Mark top of my stream. Click on Facebook Maiyegun General Police. I can't begin. If you come and I just go there to just use and catch
sometimes you go sometimes you go make checking reply with the but at times you go feel like
comment what reply but you know if as you drop them when we come when we just laugh
Nigeria frustration
it just it's very short. The way you just put it's very short. Logic when you put something so I can't talk as I talk somebody say you see, even this outside money, because you see Abu Mujahid. Oruko Malemi fi kini. That's the reason why I even went back to my place.
Make I tell you one secret. I get some friends. I have some friends here who said that it's kind of fun when you go into the midst of on social media, okay. And you begin to wind up the Tifnumbu people or Atifku people or one Nigerianist in a way. That is so fun when you do that with not with your own Facebook account or anything. And I'm like, people actually enjoy it. It was Maiyegun, you don't understand. Comment section, Now, dear mad people, day. Telling you that I give you 3 days. Go and ask of me. You don't know who you are talking to. I give you 3 days. You with people who die in your house. I said, what's happen, Baba?
So like, somebody don't ever threaten me like that.
Somebody they never tell you say they will show you.
As he threaten me, I can't give him number. I say call the if them burn your papa well, call this number. Call the number. Me give you where on a go meet. Koda woman no yeah, only do.
Ahmed, na therapy. That's why I used the little time we spend here. You know, I use the little time that we spend here to remind everybody that we all know all these things and we know what is right.
I say forget to I know they Nigeria, but over Feshiri. Emi go my help my help with you to question we didn't my share Abu you are taluke my halemo. Emi look like I'm used to them all. Maiyegun come and continue with the catch the phone.
And now that's why I said the violence is starting. The violence is starting.
It's starting. Governors, APC governors are already saying they are not going to participate in PDP problem. Obi people don't refuse say all this confusion. That is to our own advantage. And when you all come up, our own we are monitoring. We are just waiting for the time that Google scatter. We go turn to yam pepper scatter. All of us will come begin pick up. I'm start from we can start from there. More just be ready.
Keep ourselves together.
Anything to Bashele, we'll do our own. Oh yeah, now.
Nice one, Ahmed. Thank you very much. So there are lines for me. I have sorry, my caller, hang on there for me for a second. When people meet me one-on-one, some of them will tell me that Maiyegun, how do you feel? How do you manage to be so calm when these people? I said, listen, I have been doing this, talking about the criminals in Nigeria for the past 10 years. It didn't win me any much friends. Okay, I've never won any much too many friends, but it has actually won me real people, real friends who indeed, understood me very well. So the politicians and their followers in Nigeria, when they defend their criminal politicians, they don't defend them with what good things they've done that benefit the general populace, and they're still there. No, they attack you, your personality. On this social media here, I have Lagos Sabo Bakus who believe that Agbeke, that's my partner, Agbeke is a 50 years old woman. And they believe in it till tomorrow because of Tinubu and all those drug dealers, drug barons that are leading them, or criminals that are dealing with them. Because to them, that's the only way we can. How can I abuse this Maiyegun? Look at this Maiyegun. He's married to Onyibo, a 50 years old Onyibo. Oh, look at this Maiyegun. He's washing Onyibo pants. As if to say all of this, in a way, is one of the, they are the reasons why they are living in abject, wretched poverty. That women and children are dying in their hospitals. That they can't provide you electricity, provide you young people jobs to live a decent life. So I have received so many of such insults. And most of the time, I just pass them on, because I have also kind of come to reality that realization that there are so many mad people in Nigeria, many of them made mad, lunatics by the system that they support, that they only get their therapy on MaiyegundsDiary Politico. Do you get that now? So to some of you who sees them, I would advise don't really take them to heart. Okay. So my caller, sorry for keeping you waiting. You there?
Maiyegun,
Babu,
good evening, Baba. Salute. Firstly, I go greet everybody for House of the Truth. Now they call the house.
That's right.
If I make comment, I say, on a good evening, my people for House of the Truth. Baba,
this House of Truth, Temple of Truth.
Yeah,
you are not going to be
Temple
mistaken.
Of Truth.
You still be on the track, Baba.
Firstly, Ahmed, I really appreciate Ahmed. I appreciate Princess. I watched that
the Zoom meeting.
Oh, the People's Parliament 2 days ago.
Yeah, People's Parliament. But I don't think to do anything much. So I just watch the thing. I was still the pain because I do work. So I do work. And my new job, the job is out there. I know useful, no do this, no do that.
About every hour you can get right now, use them, or they tell you for everybody, because this cost of living crisis that is coming. If it can't be like say you know, third world war they come. So people will understand. Every hour you can get, use them.
Yes, Friday. I don't go do one induction.
You should also take it easy too. You know what I mean?
Everybody, you're going to watch it. Push it over you,
I tell you.
I think more you know, but
the politicians, the politicians are my cute. Because he can $100 or $200 or anything at all. So we are not there. You know what it means?
No.
Every hour counts.
Baba, every penny,
Yeah.
Every penny, I tell people, every my penny, Baba, they work hard for them. You understand me? So you don't come tell me. See, to me, like all those idiots will go come hide under your platform, then they watch the thing, they take and they cool their mind, though. But if you don't talk about Tinubu, Obidiot, you go to prepare them, they will come out. By now, I know that you
source of all their problems.
No.
But I mean, it
so,
doesn't change
I know that
anything.
you don't think it's true. It doesn't change anything
It doesn't.
to me. You know, it doesn't change anything. I would just thank everybody for all their contribution and work and all the support they've been doing on this.
I am so grateful.
I really appreciate everybody.
I'm also grateful to
and then about what Ahmed just said now. You see, when someone come on the platform and start saying, go and look for job, Baba, people should just listen to this, you know.
Right.
This is my own personal life. I want to use that as an example. Baba, I have a daughter. Before I moved down to the UK, before I met my wife, in a family, I have a daughter in Nigeria. And I brought this girl in, but it wasn't easy. It was the help of my wife. She's not the one that gave back to us. In a family, it's when we are on the street hustling. Our mother just get pregnant, they all do all those things. So the mother just dumped the girl for me, single-handedly, in a family. They don't know if the person could become anything in a family. Single-handedly, I trained the girl by myself. I no go rush marry, just the hustle for Nigeria, they do everything. Luckily, when I meet my woman through my business trip where they go buy stuff for Sweden, she's now British for here. So, to cut the story short, I brought in my daughter here in 2018.
2018, 4 years
we
ago.
are now in 21. Yeah, we are now in 2022. August last month, she was 20 years old. I brought her when she was 18. Baba, within 4 years, you know, family, with the kind of knowledge I've given to her before I even left her in Nigeria, in family, Baba, I need to sell one of my land to bring her here because I know that is my future. In a family. But believe me today, within that 4 years, my daughter bought her first car a week to her birthday.
See?
Yes.
She's in college as well, isn't she?
She's in college and she's working.
18 years to 20-year-old girl.
She's 20 last month August. Within 4 years, when I brought her, the school my wife put her for me in the family. She was coming second. One Asian guy always came first. There is this British man that normally gave them a trip to go in Denmark. Since I brought her into this country, before she finished high school, she's been going to that Denmark on that trip every year.
To Denmark?
Last year, I now said to my wife, I said, come. I need to follow Baba ton found money. I'm to buy the dance school in the street. Let's write to the school. Say, okay, it's true. It's a good suggestion. We write to the school. You know what the man said in response to the school? That they should tell us. He said he doesn't want to know us. He has nothing to do with us. All he does is any kid that is doing well in the school, understand,
should benefit.
This is his own contribution. You understand me? Now tell me, one idiot will now sit down on social media, beggar in Nigeria, will be telling you, Maiyegun, you understand me, to go and look for job. You understand me? That you will be there when your child will be within age of 18 and 20, you will bought a car of 8,000 pounds. She doesn't do Yahoo. She doesn't.
And nobody is going to have to profile him or her to have done any crime, because they know the system is living.
She's not even entitled to any benefit. Same as me. He's only the younger brother. That is pure Britico.
Yeah, I understand how that works. Yeah.
Me and you know we do inside the same group now. You understand me? She works. She goes to college. She bought her first car. She even wants to go and take 1.2 liter brown milk on mortgage. I said no. I said no. Yeah, I said no. Don't take a new car.
Start somewhere.
You buy a smaller car before. You understand me? Through my other colleagues that we normally do spare parts and all those things together here. Car shipment.
I mean, she's lucky. She has you. So when it comes to cars and cars, you have history.
We got a nice Toyota Corolla. You understand me? 010 for just 1,800 pounds. Neat, nice. You understand me? Convert it to Naira. Baba, when me I did 20 years old, Baba, I don't even know where my life they go.
Your papa be Abule Show or former councillor. Where you want? Even if your papa be that kind of self, where you want? I mean,
when I did 20 years old, anybody who knows the main area where one canal they there. Now there they go park sand inside that canal. We link to international airport. I don't even dream so I go enter play for my life. I they tell you, I they go cut leave. Baba, you know a way nothing for more money. Ni no go canal. Anybody who knows the men where I go know this thing I tell you. You understand me? That is the kind of life we
and there are millions like that, and they have made them believe that it is normal. You have to struggle in life before you make it. Then you realize that when you grow up and you have suffer, you realize that they lie to you. You're not going to make it. You're not making it. The system is never going to make you make it.
Through this my daughter own. I just sat down the day they brought the car. I was like, God, let's zoom in that. I had this kind of opportunity in Nigeria when I was 20 years old.
What would be your own kind of mindset then if you had such opportunity?
I mean, by now, what kind of life will I be living? You understand me? I will be living a peaceful, happy life. I thank God for myself.
You don't have any time to hate. You don't have any frustration that will push you into anything shady. Because you will be like, you have built your life. If you are caught with anything shady, you lose all of that. So because of that, you stay on and you cap. I mean, that's what I'm saying to all these people too. But they've never smelled it. They've never felt it. And all of this we are talking about right now, they are sounding like Fabu or something.
Yeah. Baba, you go imagine, say, from now, the stepmother, don't dare part the plan that by the time you will be 25, 26, you need to have your own house mortgage.
Imagine that. And it is achievable. She is young. The opportunity is limitless and unlimited. She would achieve that.
If you have between 15,000 to 20,000 pounds, you can make a deposit of a mortgage of house of like maybe 150, 200,000 pounds. And they give you loan. I was like,
one thing, Baba, with the kind of girl your daughter is, right? If she set that goal and she's so close, she has a father, right, who can take her there. If she's so close and about not meeting it, the effort, the attempt, and the opportunity she have access to, these are what many fathers in Nigeria cannot say about
Baba,
their own children. And yet, they would abuse Maiyegun. Say, well, what is your business with Tinubu? What is your this and that? They are looting your future and that of your children. And some of you don't even know what you are missing. Honestly speaking.
I can't close this chapter with this little one. You know what happened when I want to bring my daughter here, 2016?
Tell us.
I sold one land I was having in Bafo. There's a problem there. After that Bafo police station, Monila Kombe,
right.
A friend of mine, they sold their father's property around Meta, and he was having like share of almost 5-6 million. Once of them, wow, no way, I bet I could jack out. Maybe in the next 5-6 years, I want to 10-20 million. What is out? I only have no worry. You know, he was doing computer engineering in computer village, selling accessories, things was going. That same person today, I'm not laughing anymore. You know what he told me?
What?
About 2 months ago. You know about to say I listen to you. I for know the suffer with and suffer with my 3 children. You understand me? You see, I see some people they look me as idiots. I just they look there. You understand me? Because you see, most of all those people, even the family will hear that thing. You understand me? But today, all those people they are jealous of me. Some of them today, they are ready to pay between 15,000-20,000 pounds for their children to come into this.
At least their children, they will just know that at least that one uncle, Tori Kombasu uncle, and we are saying and you know, people who are doing same thing again and again in Nigeria, expecting a different result, they are supposed to be listening to us right now, honestly speaking, because there is no different result coming. You're just going to experience a different suffering. That's it.
You go imagine MC Oluero, if today Nigeria as MC Oluero
go live in children for America.
MC Oluero get about almost 11 children. All in children they Europe, they America,
Europe and America, of course.
Not only in Coco Sally, all of them, even the boys under them, their children are everywhere here. You understand me? I even know one, I don't want to mention his name. You understand me? He's one of MC Oluemo. He's someone I know. His son is in Sweden. I know him very well. So you are master for me, Nigeria, Baba to support Tinubu back to Wale, everything my dad. Baba to support to be true learning. So if you para law school,
Make her take another one again.
Baba, make her allow that.
Thank you so much for sharing this with us. And I've actually seen your daughter in this picture. Is that her in this profile picture?
Yeah, that is her.
Oh, look at that smile. She's going to be so grateful to you for the rest of her life. When she goes further than this, she will be so thankful to you. And say me well to her when you see her next, Baba. Nice one, eh?
Thank you, Baba.
Nice one. So I have another caller on the line. I hope. Oh, I lost the call. Him or her. So if you call back in, I can still get you on. Okay. Let's see. Good. Hello there. Hang on. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, nice one, sir. So good evening. This is Maiyegun, or good afternoon to you, wherever you're coming from. I mean, calling from, sir. How are you?
I'm all right. I'm calling from Canada, though. Maiyegun, how are you?
I am fine. I'm here. And thanks for asking, sir.
Yeah, it's a very good one. It's always a good one. So, but we will not be tired of saying thank you to you. Oh, you always do a good job.
Thank you, man.
Everything about Nigeria is a fraud.
It is.
But we will not be tired of calling a spade a spade.
That's right.
We will not be tired. Because, like I always say on your program, I want to thank you for the platform, for sustaining it, at least to help us at times voice out the so much accumulated anger and
you know,
God bless you.
frustration, looking at the system, what it is like. So this platform is like a release to some of us.
To
and
many
all
of
others
us.
in this
God bless
platform.
you.
It is a sign of relief when we voice out, you know, the pain we endure looking at how messed up the system is. So I want to thank you for that.
Thank you so much.
You see, I was privileged to listen to you today from the beginning because I'm on my vacation.
Oh, bless you.
So
Thank
I have to listen from the beginning. Today was a very well articulated and a well presentation you made today. My own point is Nigeria is a fraud. And on top of that, it is structured to be the way it is.
It is.
And everything going on in Nigeria is a man-made, well-designed to keep people.
None of them is an accident. God bless you.
No. It was properly designed to keep people perpetually submissive, perpetually subjugated.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the reason why they are doing all these things. Because how do you rebel? You talk about you can be a rebel. You can only be a rebel when you have without. And one of those things you need to have is adequate information, adequate knowledge.
God bless you.
Understanding that this life you are living is not the right one. That is number one. Number two is when you have what it takes, probably the financial muscle, probably the intellectual knowledge, or whatever that it will take you to fight for your right.
Yes.
So when you look at all the other places, there are some kind of repression. You just define for us, you read out what a fascist state could be. That is a true definition of Nigerian state.
Thank you.
If you look at every other places, they have such or a similar state, the same thing they do. Look at Iran.
Yes.
And so many other places, they have all these stupid leaders in power. They use that system to subjugate people. Now,
systems like
for
any
example,
small thing, they will say for the sake of national security now, they can arrest you and lock you up. They don't have to say what you've done or anything. They'll just say for national security. Oh, this country, we don't want this country to go up in flames. For the sake of national security, we just killed about 200 people in that village because for the sake of national security, we needed to, you know what I mean? These are fascist statements that human rights, law and all those things, they don't really matter. Okay? And then they play on religion and the rest of them. And that's Nigeria, like you said. A very good textbook definition of Nigeria.
Nigeria is a fraud. And there's no how a genuinity can come out of fraud. You can't have something genuine out of fraud. So when you have a fraudulent system, unfortunately, it will continue to produce fraudulent people.
Yes.
That is just the truth. Until that fraudulent structure is dismantled,
or axed,
you cannot have what you call patriotism.
No.
That is the truth.
No.
You cannot have ASU calling off the strike and not going back to strike after some time when you have an illiterate leading the country.
Mm-hmm.
These things, it's not a rocket science. When you have people who do not have passion for education,
mm-hmm.
they are leading the various states and the federal, whatever they have. How would they care about education? When their children is all abroad studying, so why would they care? These things are not rocket science.
They are not
so
rocket
what I'm trying to say,
I mean, where would the patriotism come from in the first place?
My brother, listen to me. You just said something. Some people are writing nonsense. I don't even pay attention to those things because why? There will always be people like that.
That's true.
And because there will be people like that, they are products of this fraudulent system. Why? Because Nigeria is a jungle. It's a survival the fittest place whereby man must work. So those people, They are just, if you like, call them political jobbers. If you like, call them hustlers. They are trying to put food on their table. So I don't even blame them so much.
So logic doesn't make any sense to them. They will step it on his head, and they will never feel any kind of a whim.
Don't make attempts to change them. These people, it's just like the agros. They know that they are doing the wrong thing, but they have to still do it because that is the only way they will get money to take care of their needs.
To survive.
So that is the people I blame is the system that have allowed such things to become a normal thing. Because why? When you weaponize poverty to the point they have weaponized it, you weaponize ignorance to the point they have weaponized it. You make the people so vulnerable that their ability to be rational has been taken away from them. So they don't think about how to better life. They are now thinking about how to sustain the miserable life with miserability. So you don't have to make those people. Otherwise, what will make somebody to go and sell his vote for 1,000, for a salt, for Gary and all this stuff? These are the true indications of high level of poverty weaponization, high level of ignorance weaponization. So what I'm trying to submit is by this awareness everybody is now making, we will continue to deliver those that can be delivered. And those that will be delivered, it will be like a chain reaction. You deliver me, I will go and try to deliver somebody until a greater number of people are delivered from that mindset.
And the greatest weapon the greatest weapon of this deliverance and all that is the right information at the right time, and to continue to feed them into that and all that. And at the end of the day, when they have the right information, like you said, they are likely never going to have to feel comfortable with the wrong information that they are being fed that kept them under that their cling. You said.
Now, Maiyegun, let me submit this for the last time. Let me tell you something. That's why I like to listen to your program. You are taking time and politely to discuss and explain the problem. And unfortunately, a great number of Nigerians have so much been subjugated that the intellectual assimilation has been reduced to zero. So people are not like being intellectual in discussion and reasoning. Rather, they all take the path of insult, abuse, and all that. So for me, I don't really want to engage a typical Nigeria intellectually. That is a waste of resources and time. Because you don't approach abnormal person with a normal approach.
No.
And that's why I don't subscribe to changing Nigerian problem through electoral process, because the process itself is a fraud.
It is.
No matter how you try to sanitize the INEC as an umpire, it's still a fraudulent system.
And we must always remember that and stop guessing and feeling like maybe they will do better this time. Maybe God will change them this time. You are just trying to pretend that maybe it will be better. Continue, sir. The whole system is rigged.
I'm just being very factual to you.
That's fine.
Like I always submitted to you. I am an Igbo man, and I have no apology on that. I'm a core Igbo man, and by extension, a Pan-Africanist.
God bless you.
As that be, I am not an obedient. Not because I hate Obi as a person. Not because I don't subscribe to all this imagination. No.
Let me tell
I don't support it because why? He is part of the oppressor. Whether no matter how
we try to see
no matter how he tried to calculate all the GDP and say what he will do, he's part of the oppressor. Why do I say that? This Peter Obi, I said I'm an Igbo man. I respect him as a person. if we put all those that have come out, maybe him, Sowore, and maybe a couple of other persons, may be a lesser devil. But they are all devils.
Mm.
Listen to me. Peter Obi, he's claiming, if you want to know what I will do in Nigeria if I become president, go to Anambra. I have one question to ask Peter Obi.
Mm.
As a governor of Anambra State, if Peter Obi is sick today, will Peter Obi patronize any hospital in Anambra State without going to England to get a Medicare? That is one question. As governor who is proud of what he did in Anambra, can Peter Obi now, let us not talk of his own direct children,
right?
Because they may have graduated and all that. Can Peter Obi now, at least he has his children living in Nigeria, can Peter Obi comfortably advise and even at least to show as a public servant, make his children, take their own children to public school, any of the public school? These are the ways you will tell me that, yes, you left a legacy in Anambra State. You don't come and tell me some bullshit.
Yeah, the answer is no, because if he was to do it, we should be seeing it right now. So maybe I should answer on his behalf. The answer is no. So it's not different from them, of course.
And that is why I'm telling you, he is part of the oppressor. Because why you cannot tell me you were there in Anambra State? Yes, you beat some roads. Should we clap for you because you beat some roads? What is the standard of Anambra today? Is there any light in Anambra? What stops Peter Obi from building a gas turbine? Since they don't want to decentralize the stupid national grid. There is a legislation that empowers him to build a state gas turbine that can give some part of Anambra State electricity constantly. Did he build it? Did this Peter Obi that is making this stupid noise now, when he was in Anambra State, he said education was number one and all that. It may be, I don't care. I'm talking about
what it is actually, but I would like to hear what you want to say next on that, especially on that education. Go on, Baba.
I don't subscribe to it. As Anambra being the biggest and the most economic hub of Southeast, was Peter Obi able to harness Anambra State to bring intellectuals that came from Anambra State to mobilize that state to be an intellectual hub like Awolowo did in his time in Yoruba land? Can we now say that Anambra people today are more educated as a result of what Peter Obi did in education sector? So let us not deceive ourselves. I don't really subscribe to his presidency. That is my point. And secondly, why I don't is because I have taken time to look at all the time Southerners become president in Nigeria, or they hold any national office.
Right.
I personally have seen that we Southerners suffer the most. When the man that succeeded in subjugating the entire Igbo people and Easterners as a whole into this contraption because of his personal ambition of becoming a president of Nigeria. He put all of us in this mess. Now, I have tried to look at when he became the president. What did the Southerners, Easterners to be precise, what did we benefit from the presidency of Zeke? That is number one. When the Aguiyi-Ironsi-led coup took place, what did the Easterners benefited from his military junta?
For having a Igbo man in charge.
What did we benefit? I'm just saying the ones that succeeded. Nzogu coup did not succeed. Now we came to the first
But the first president of Nigeria, Nnamdi Azikiwe, was also very prominent as well. The history said it was a ceremonial president, but my own history that I read eventually said it was actually so active in the First Republic. It wasn't just a ceremonial president. So you can add his name to it as well. Continue, Baba.
I just told you that is the person I said, Azikiwe. His name is Nnamdi Azikiwe.
That's right.
So what did we benefit? The only time that Igbo people or Easterners saw the light of development was when there was regional system, when Opara was there leading the Eastern Nigeria. Awolowo was in the west, and the Balewa and the rest of them was in the north. That was the only time we saw development come to the east. After that time, the next time we had a southerner that come from the east was Goodluck Ebele Jonathan.
And his own is even worse. His own is even worse because it's so recent.
That is what I'm telling you. What did we benefited from this man being president of Nigeria for 6 years, my brother? Now, I listened to your program the day you brought a picture of Niger, the second Niger bridge, as contracted by Goodluck Jonathan, that has a railway on it.
Yes, it was meant to have
the
a
one
train
that
line.
they are building now. Now, as a southerner that knows the condition of Nigeria, Goodluck Jonathan couldn't use that opportunity to do one thing for his own people, that at least as Boko Haram have now succeeded in empowering the Fulanis and all their destruction. At least let us be proud of a southerner. Oh, he empowered us and all that.
Especially a southerner who grew up during the war as a kid, possibly dreamt of a day he wanted to see he wanted to see a very developed Eastern Nigeria. I mean, as a kid myself, there was a time I was dreaming of becoming the military head of state of Nigeria. Like, I would just take over the government. And then I will do this, I will do that, I'll do this here in Ibadan, here and there. So Goodluck Jonathan, who later probably become the president, as you see, right? Ended up doing just like everyone else did. They don't give
is one thing. That's why I don't really subscribe to all this. Because the ones we have had already, what have they done? Peter Obi, now, to be very honest with you, I don't hate him as a person, but I don't want him in their presidency, because Peter Obi had the heart during his governorship in Anambra State. It was when we witnessed one of the biggest massacre of the agitators. He has not denied it. Peter Obi killed almost 1,000 MASOP members under his supervision.
He denied that, by the way. You will continue, okay? He denied that. He said the day they found bodies in the Izu River, it wasn't in Nigeria.
Yes.
But people said the guy who was the then, is it commissioner of police? What's that guy's name again? That he was
the commissioner of the police.
Continue the story. I just wanted to put that in there before you continue. But continue. The Izu River killings.
Yes. So this guy, yes, he's a fine young gentleman, has energy and all that. But my brother, if we must be honest to ourselves, Peter Obi cannot change the fraudulent structured Nigeria. He's only going to, of course, he had already said some things that I begin to say, what nonsense is all this? I think I heard somewhere he said, yes, my government will borrow. I told myself, oh, you are even still dreaming to borrow. That is one point. I also see where he said, yes, we will fight everything, but it will not be immediate. It will take time. He didn't tell us the timeline. That is the same old story we have been hearing. It will not be immediate. It will
Have
take
you not
some
heard
time.
that of 100 million people who have access to healthcare? And they said he did it in Anambra. They said poor people in Anambra were given a medical card. And I actually seen some as well.
Brother,
you
please,
from there? Tell me.
Please. You live in the UK. Let us not buy into all this nonsense sentiment.
They are like a buzzword in Nigeria now. You know what I'm saying now? It's they are buzzword.
Yes.
I'll give you this. Free education. I'll give you that. But he just said he will give them 100 million integrated
How many
healthcare
people?
insurance.
Let's assume that he did that. Okay? Let's even assume that he did it.
He's not telling them how to fund it. That's what I wanted you to say. I wanted you to say, did he say how he's going to fund it? In Nigeria, just tell them you will do this and that. Don't tell them how you're going to fund it, because that will be too much. Because by the time you start telling them how you're going to fund it or where you're going to see the money, they will realize that you just made up nonsense. You just said something that's not realistic, intellectual.
I want to conclude with this.
Right.
Like today's program, you titled Tinubu going to London and all that.
Mm-hmm.
See, because of the fraudulent nature of Nigeria, those that are shouting Tinubu, they know that it's a disaster waiting to happen. They know very well. And they don't really care. That's why it took me back to the man that called himself Shehu somebody, Mahdi or something, the one that was
that was inciting religious nonsense and tribal stuff, yeah?
You know how interesting Nigeria can be. How interesting. That's why I don't believe when somebody comes to tell me it's an intellectual produced in Nigeria. I don't really subscribe to it. I'm sorry.
You have to prove it.
Use that word.
That's why I'm like, sometimes you need to let people open their mouth and talk before you start believing anything you are believing.
That one is also an intellectual. He also acclaimed intellectual. He's part of the intellectuals we have in Nigeria. Now look at what somebody that says that he's an intellectual was saying. The same man, if you remember, you played that video in one of your programs. If I still recollect that
now,
where he was talking about the guy that they intercepted or arrested in Egypt or somewhere and brought back to DSS. The guy that was mediating between the bandits and the government or whatever.
That's true.
That guy.
His name is Tukor Mamu.
God bless you. You played in your program or somewhere. I watched that particular man where they were interviewing him in one of the television about that guy. He said something. If you don't know these people, you will so much be convinced that he's a patriotic Nigerian.
Honestly.
He is not a bigot, he's not a northern bigot. My brother, that's why all these stupid activism and activists in Nigeria, they are all fake. I can tell you.
If you pay attention very well, you will know that they call them cash TVs now. Because everybody is now waking up to realize that they have been taking advantage of them all this while. So somehow.
Let me
go on.
Let me say this to you. You see, northern Nigeria.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anybody that comes to any northern Muslim, to be precise, that tells you he's an activist, like Sheikh Husani and the rest of them, when they talk, it looks like they love all Nigerians. They want everybody to be together, blah, 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 and all that.
See, it's called Takia.
My brother.
Takia. That's what it's called.
Thank you. These people, they have one agenda, and that agenda is for Fulani or Northerners to continue to lead Nigeria. And they are being fronted as their kind of sports or whatever activists that we continue to paint that picture that we are not religious people, we are not regional people, and blah blah blah. My brother, they will be very much comfortable in a Sharia Islamic Nigeria than secular Nigeria.
That for those who don't want to admit and all that. So we all eventually have to, come to that reality, soon. You know what? Our time is so gone. Thank you so much. I enjoyed this long chat with you. Some people are not happy. I have to be honest, okay? They're like, oh, why is he just there? You just left him. And quite kind of...
I'm sorry.
Maybe I just got lost in the conversation.
I'm sorry for them.
It's so interesting. So thank you, okay? You have a good evening yourself.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you too.
Thank you.
You have a good one. Good night. So I'll take just one more and we can call it a night. My time is so up now. Hello there, brother.
Hello, Joe.
Baba, how are you, sir?
I'm so happy. I changed my picture.
Oh, did you? I was looking at that like, that's a young person and all that. But anyway, good to hear from you, sir. So we are almost saying degrees and calling it a night, but
I know.
We are in. So how are you?
I know. The sermon of today is part of it is for me. Gio, Nigeria has happened to me. For the past 14 days, I've been receiving therapy from your sermon. 6 months ago, my son was sick. He's getting better. 1 day off, 1 day in. For the 14 days ago, he has been tested for any test. any sick person can receive. What did they say? They said they can't see anything at all. They tested the kidney, tested everything. When you are talking about the health care in Nigeria, I was crying. Maiyegun, my son, I lost him 14 days ago, 39 years man. For Nigeria happened to me.
I am so
when
sorry.
you are talking of this thing today, honestly, Maiyegun,
and there are many people like that as well. Sir, it is so worse that there are even people who have the money. They have the money, but they can't get the health care. You get that? And they are still there in that same system in a way. I am so sorry for your loss, sir. Sincerely, from all of us.
For the past 14 days, honestly, I've been enjoying you before, but this 14 days ago, I enjoy you more than before because I'm receiving therapy from you. Maiyegun, God will bless you and be with you and your family.
Amen.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the courage. Thank you so much for sharing it with us.
Thank you.
Yeah? And then by all means, we pray that God will give you the fortitude to bear that loss. It can
Amen. Thank you.
God keep the rest of us and you too. I mean, it's sad, but
thank you.
God bless you, sir.
Thank you, Maiyegun. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Good night.
Sir. Yes, sir.
Thank
Good
you.
night, sir.
Bye-bye.
Wow, that's breaking. No wonder I've seen I saw the picture there. The picture, I believe, is the picture of the young man. No father, no parent should ever witness the death of their own son or daughter. And Nigeria has a way of dealing with us in a way that we can be broken forever. There are many people, there are many like us who are suffering from the PTSD of what we have experienced because of the horrible system that these guys put together. Or you just probably don't admit to them that the people who caused all of this are these criminals. When they tell you to go to Mecca, to go and throw the stones at the shaitan, right? Sometimes you shouldn't finish all the stones in Mecca. Keep some of them and take them back home. When you see these politicians, you use that same stone and stone them because they're the devil that are behind all your trouble, sincerely, right? If they ask you to go to anywhere and go and pray against this or that, you should probably keep some of those things that you use there for these criminals. You shouldn't worship them. You shouldn't praise them. You shouldn't defend them. But if you haven't become a victim yet, or you probably don't know that you are a victim yet, it's because you are only seeing what you want to see. It is sad, sincerely. And I pray that the family will be able to have the enough strength and courage to live through these trying times. Because I can only imagine it, sincerely speaking. Honestly. We're going to have to call it tonight, okay? Thank you so much for your time tonight. I'm going to see you some other times, okay? Stay safe, stay woke. Ignorance is not an excuse to taking a decision on what is going on in Nigeria. You can continue to choose your different groups and defend them with whatever you want to defend them with. But there's something you must never forget. For every choice you make, there is a consequence and consequences too. So whichever one you pick, choose your poison right. And remember, sometimes, or even most times, the consequences are not limited to those of you who make those choices. Innocent people are trapped in them. Millions of them are never going to understand why this is happening to them just because of your choice. Good night from here, and all of you. Stay safe.
Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Maiyegun Diary, Maiyegun number one.
Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Maiyegun Diary, Maiyegun number one.
Maiyegun ti dé o, ọ̀rẹ́ ará ìlú.
Maiyegun Diary, Maiyegun number one.
Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube.
Maiyegun Diary, Maiyegun number one.
Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Maiyegun já wa sí.
Maiyegun Diary.
kẹgbọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu.
Maiyegun Diary, na him be number one.
Àní Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Maiyegun Diary, na him be number one.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé. Maiyegun ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Lórí Facebook.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Lórí YouTube.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Ijó ìgbádìyẹ.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Kí gómìnà kówó jẹ.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Ọlọ́pàá tí ń darí bá.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o. Maiyegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀. Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀. Maiyegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀. Oníkanṣá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o.
Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Kì máa yí ṣe eré, ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Kì máa yí ṣe eré, ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o, ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣàyè tú wọn síta.
Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Tẹnitẹni ọmọ Maiyegun ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́run ṣọ́ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù. Lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù. Bọ́tà ń lè rí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sè mọ́bẹ̀. Èèpo ọ̀bọ lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́, ó ti jọba lórí àbínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ bùyà. Àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o, ó kó ẹni tó bá dán wò á kàmù. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì o. Ẹni bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran o.
Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.